My channel is sponsored by Geology this month, which means we'll have an ad from them somewhere in the middle of today's video. I could make a video about how absolutely ridiculous it is that because Expedition 33, a game that is exceptional in almost every way, won numerous awards at this year's Game Awards for being exceptional in almost every way, swaths of the internet are suggesting that there should be some kind of cap on the amount of categories a game should be nominated for. But obviously, that's completely ridiculous, considering completely different departments work on the things that get them nominated in the different categories and should absolutely individually be recognized for doing the incredible work that they've done. It wouldn't make any sense at all to punish some departments because every department did a really good job. Only a dummy would even suggest that. You're not a dummy, are you? Well, I could make that video, but really that's all I'd have to say. Expedition 33 deserves every single award that it won. The only category in which I will tolerate people asking questions is the debut indie category, which I do think needs to change, but I don't know what the fuck we change it to, and Expedition 33 isn't the only offender in that particular pool of nominees. Not an insignificant chunk of my last video is about exactly that. What is indie anymore? It used to mean a game that didn't have a publisher. Blueprints, which is my personal game of the year, by the way, published by Raw Fury. Absalom was published by Dotemu. Ball Pit was by Devolver. Hades 2 and Hollow Knight Silksong are the only games in the independent category that are actually independent, in that they were self-published by the developers and are really weird examples to use because they were also able to self-fund by virtue of their insane profits. I mean, Baldur's Gate 3 is an indie game. Think about that. Baldur's Gate 3, which is estimated to have cost over $100 million, does not have a publisher. Larian is not owned by a publisher. The team at Larian was over 400 people with, when you include outsourced partners and contractors, which we should, become over 2,000. But it's an indie game. What is an indie game anymore? How do we qualify what an indie game is? I would ask that instead of ranting every year about who did or did not win what, we spend that energy and time talking about games we really loved that didn't get the recognition. Like a little pass it forward, you know? Related, I will say that I really appreciate that devs were fully given time to speak this year. Jeff and the team definitely took the please wrap it up criticism from the Baldur's Gate 3 sweep year and completely let go of those time constraints, which is genuinely great to see. Credit where credit is due. They fixed that problem basically immediately. In case you missed it, a few years ago, the Game Awards would do the Oscars thing where they play music in order to get people who are giving speeches to stop speaking, and then flash text on a screen that basically said, please wrap it up. And it was really gross.
I just wanted to say, I know I don't have much time. To my agents, I will thank you later. I'm sorry, I'm going to wrap it up apparently. One thing I will say, please, if that's okay, the community has reached out to so many of us at Larian and said they were seen and they were represented by this game when they lost hope, they felt isolated, they felt alone, and this game brought them together and gave them something to push through to help them all. And to you, I want to say thank you so much for seeing us. I appreciate it. You're not alone in this. None of us are. Thank you.
Which, speaking of that year, why are we acting like this is the first time a TGA sweep has ever happened? Baldur's Gate 3 absolutely swept. The Last of Us Part 2 swept before that. Basically, my thesis is thus. It doesn't matter. Calm down. And if anything about it does matter, it would be just how wonderful it is that we had so many incredible games come out this year. And it's such a tremendous privilege to be able to celebrate the rare occasion that one particular game is so good. It's like a, oh, my steak too juicy, my lobster too buttery moment. You know what I mean? Speaking of things that are too good, here's a word from today's sponsor. I know that you know, in theory, that you should be taking care of your skin, but what does that even mean? Trust me, I struggled with that when I first started my skincare journey, but then I found Geology. Your skin journey with Geology starts with a quick 60-second quiz about your goals or concerns. Maybe you have acne or dark under eyes, or you're like me and you have really, really oily skin. Then Geology takes your answers and builds a simple, effective, customized routine just for you. They use dermatologist-trusted, proven ingredients delivered straight to your door. When I first tried to get into skincare, I was so overwhelmed by all of the lists of chemicals and the different products and what order to use them in. So one of the things that I love most about Geology is that their products are numbered, so you know exactly what order to use them in. And I'm not the only one who loves Geology. They have over 10,000 five-star reviews covering their skincare, hair care, and body care products, all of which smell lovely, by the way. So if you've ever been skeptical about skincare, just know that Geology is the brand that turns skeptics into loyalists. Go to geology/CharLanazard100 or scan the QR code that's on the screen and use code CharLanazard100 to grab your personalized skincare trial set for 100% off. Plus, you'll get a free gift card and up to 50% off of add-ons. Okay, but seriously, huge congrats to the team at Sandfall and to Jennifer English, who I would die for. Really, if there's anything to take from this, it's that casting Jennifer English will allow you to sweep the Game Awards. Hi, Jen. I'm working on a game called Layers Deep. It's an indie Metroidvania in which you play an onion. Would you like to voice his grandma? I can pay you in my obvious discomfort whenever I'm in your presence because you are so pretty that I don't know what to do. Nobody send this to her. I must maintain the facade that I'm actually very cool, which you all agree with, of course. But this video also isn't about my crush on Jennifer English. Maybe it should be. No, that would be redundant because you all obviously already feel the same way. So instead, today I wanted to highlight some games that I feel have not gotten the recognition that they deserve to this year, which is certainly a challenge when it's just been such a wonderful year for video games. Seriously, the people who say that, oh, video games suck these days, video games are shit, clearly don't play video games. Let's just agree. They are fake gamers, a lot of them. So, here's my list of the top 5 games of 2025 that were really good, but maybe you haven't heard of them because they weren't nominated for any/many awards and didn't take off on Twitch, but are still really good and deserve some recognition. And also, I chose ones that are fairly different from one another, so there's some solid variety, and the list is in no particular order. I'd also genuinely love to hear what your suggestions for this is in the comments, genuinely. I never ask people to leave a comment below. It's not an engagement thing. Like and subscribe. But if you played a game you really loved this year that didn't get nominated for anything, I would love to hear about it and hear why you like it. So, in no particular order, here's number 5.
Dead Letter Department from Mike Monroe and Belief Department is a really unique game that utilizes one of my favorite tropes, if you can really call it a trope, which is finding horror in the mundane and the monotonous. It's an incredibly atmospheric horror typing game that has you interpreting undeliverable mail, literally reading the mail and interpreting things the fictional in-game automated system cannot, and putting it into a data entry software. It starts out, as all the best horror games do, as mildly unsettling but kind of standard, and escalates to a point of madness with increasingly horrific letters to piece together, really exceptional sound design, and a number of small but very creepy exploration sections. I think Dead Letter Department does a particularly great job of making you want to lean in rather than away from the horrors it presents. It's intriguing and engaging in all the right ways, and certainly a really tight experience, with one playthrough taking about 2 hours, though you will need to do multiple playthroughs in order to fully understand the story and the world. Number 4, Constance. Note that this doesn't apply to any of the other games on this list. I firmly believe that if it were more well-known, Constance would have ended up nominated for several art-related awards. This game is gorgeous. It's a hand-drawn Metroidvania from developer BTF with what's absolutely some of the most beautiful animation I've seen in a video game this year. The protagonist, titular Constance, wields a paintbrush that melts and blends into environments as you use it to navigate and to fight, and it's so satisfying just to look at. That, paired with the beautiful environments, great music, and an actual story, which is honestly sort of rare for indie Metroidvanias, make this game feel so polished from a, artistic vision perspective. It is very short for a Metroidvania, which in this case I sort of loved, but it definitely stands out in a genre where it's honestly quite difficult to avoid being called a clone of something. I mean, the whole genre is called Metroidvania, after all. Number 3, Malice. Malice, of all games on this list, deserves more love, in my opinion. I do need to note that I have friends at Summerfall Studios and have worked with them, but I promise that's not why I'm including it, and they have no idea I'm doing this. This game really, really deserves more exposure. At the time of writing, it only has 126 reviews on Steam, which is the least of any game on this list. And yeah, it deserves some more. So, Malice is a very Inscription, kind of Slay the Spire-coded roguelite deck builder set in a corrupted city that's in desperate need of uncorrupting. Enter Noah, a former priest turned demon hunter who is the protagonist on this journey through a world of angels, demons, exorcisms, and a distinct sort of biblical grandness. I love a roguelike deck builder. This genre is basically crack to me, and it's made even more enjoyable in Malice due to the gorgeous, very moody, sort of gothic, hand-illustrated art. And some especially stellar writing, thanks to ex-Dragon Age lead writer David Gaynor. It's a very realized world full of interesting characters with their own unpredictable agendas, and overall just such a distinctly stylish package from this exceptional studio. Number 2, The 100 Line. The 100 Line Last Defense Academy is a visual novel/tactical RPG that has been in development by 2Kyo Games and Mediavision for so long, with so much writing, that the studio went into debt making it. And there is so much writing. It's very unique in style too. It's basically signature Kazutaka Kodaka, who is the lead writer and most well known for his work on Danganronpa. There truly is plot twist after plot twist, but not in a way that it waters down its own effectiveness. And the cast of characters is a real standout here, but the gameplay outside of story, which is clearly the focus, is also satisfying. It's fairly simple but not overly familiar and presents plenty of fun challenges. I do feel the need to note here that the 100 line isn't unheard of by any means. It's definitely very popular in Japan. I just haven't seen many Western outlets talking about it, hence the inclusion. It was nominated for the Golden Joystick's Best Storytelling Award, which is totally deserved. The story is so ambitious that I'm sort of amazed it got made at all. And number 1, again, in no particular order. The Seance of Blake Manor. The Seance of Blake Manor is a supernatural detective adventure game from developers Spooky Doorway, and it reminds me of Return of the Obra Dinn, I guess mixed with a little Blue Prince, which might be one of the highest compliments I could possibly give a video game. The Manor's vibes are suitably spooky with an art style that's very Hellboy, and it is full of, initially, so many weird characters, places to explore, and items to check out that it's actually fairly overwhelming. Coming to terms with all of those pieces and how they slot or don't slot into the broader mystery provides a sense of satisfaction that most games genuinely cannot even get close to, for me at least. It's all about you yourself gaining knowledge, think Outer Wilds, with a time mechanic that keeps things tense, and a story, or stories, that are far, far deeper than I initially expected. Blake Manor tackles some heavy themes, while also diving into Irish history and folklore, being that it's set on the west coast of Ireland on Halloween in 1897.
What a wonderful time to live in, where I basically decided I should make this video because there are too many good games for them to even feasibly be addressed in every award show. I will leave a link in the description to all of the games mentioned today. Please pick one and go check it out over the holidays or something. And while you're at it, leave a comment about one that I might have missed in the comments below. It's like we have our own little video game gift exchange. Happy video games, everybody.